Hello, everybody. Wanted to hop on and talk a little bit about the Chris Watts case. You say, why are you talking about the Chris Watts case? That happened forever ago, right? Well, there's a friend of his that got out of jail that was in the cell next to him and, yeah, decided to start talking about some of the things that Chris has been saying, right? He's even writing a book on it. Um, And so I thought I'd talk about that a little bit because when Chris Watts sat there in sentencing, and even since, even in his interrogation, he was blaming Shanann for unaliving his two girls. Um, he was saying how his mistress, Nicole, was wonderful. She was just so kind and she wasn't controlling. In other words, putting down Shanann. It was Shanann's fault, right? Well, now it's Nicole's fault, according to him, right? He has since found the Lord, evidently, and he just really feels like he's got it all together, you know? Um, so, because he confessed now to unaliving Shanann, the girls, and baby Nico, now he had to find somebody else to blame, right? He had to find somebody else to blame it on. Well, now he's saying it's Nicole. You know, just want to go back over um, what happened for those of you who may not know about the Chris Watts case. I suppose there are people out there who may not know. Um, so let's go ahead and do that. And while I'm talking about them, you can just look and see what I've got going on. So, in the early hours of August 13, 2018, in Frederick, Colorado, American oil field operator Christopher Lee Watts, who was born on May 16, 1985, unalived his pregnant wife, Shanann, who was 34, by, not sure if I can say this word, strangulation, and their two children, Bella 4 and Celeste 3, by suffocation. He buried Shanann in a shallow grave near an oil storage facility and dumped his children's bodies into crude oil tanks. Watts initially maintained his innocence in his family's disappearance, but was arrested on August 15th after confessing in an interview with detectives to unaliving Shanann. Months later, he also admitted to unaliving his children. Um, During that interview, they were really trying to get him to talk. And one of the, I think it was the female detective, said, did Shanann do something to the girls? Is that why you? And it was like he took that lie and ran with it, right? He took what she said and ran with it. And they had his dad come in, and that's what he told his dad, right? He told his, first he failed his lie detector test, and then, yeah, then he told his dad that Shanann unalived the two girls. And so he got angry and unalived her. That's what he said. Um, but later on, he did admit, he did confess to unaliving all four, actually, because Shanann was pregnant um, with a little boy, baby Nico. They were going to name him baby Nico. Okay. So on November 6, 2018, Watts pleaded guilty to multiple counts of first-degree unaliving as part of a plea deal when the death penalty was removed from sentencing. So he was sentenced to 5 life sentences without the possibility of parole, 3 to be served consecutively, and the other 2 to be served concurrently. So now there is a letter that he had wrote, and it kind of gives you an idea of, what his thought processes are. It was written by him in jail, and it was kind of a, I don't know, like a journal kind of thing, and he says, "Dear Heavenly Father, I have backslidden. I am like a sheep gone astray from the flock and have fallen into a pit. The snare of the enemy has entrapped me. The words of a harlot has brought me low. Her flattering speech was like drops of honey that pierced my heart and soul. Little did I know all her guests were in the chamber of death. The lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life. How did I not see it? How did I let this happen? The blessings you have bestowed upon me were right in front of me, and still I followed the perfume of a strange woman. The web of the enemy squeezes around my heart and is covering my soul to the point of suffocation. The enemy and his Jezebel mock and scourge me as they celebrate another capture." And it goes on. But that just gives you an idea of what he's doing, right? How he is, blaming, still on the blame game. Now he's blaming Nicole, who was his mistress, okay? Well, do we think Nicole had anything to do with it? I don't know. We thought about, well, maybe she said it was said, I think, in trial that she had said to him the night before Shanann, and the kids were unalived, that Nicole had told him, "It's your family or me." But guys, that doesn't mean that she wanted him to unalive them, right? I mean, that doesn't mean that at all. She claims, in fact, let's go ahead and listen to a little bit of her interrogation. And you can hear what she had to say.
What I guess. I mean, even now, when I go back through this stuff, that I'm like, it doesn't make sense, or it like seems a little off. That stuff still doesn't send a red flag to me, like, hey, this guy's gonna murder his family.
Sure. I don't think there was you didn't have any indication, and by all accounts, it doesn't seem like anybody did.
No, I just, like, sometimes I, like, try not to think what that man is thinking, because, like, you don't know, but it's like, how long has his brain been, like, shifting to this paradigm shift where he feels the need to do this? It's like, I just don't believe that it's something that just happens in a day or 2 days. I don't think it happens in 2 months. I think that this is something that takes a very, very long time to develop, and I don't...
Right. So that scares you when you look back at it?
Yeah, because I think about it, and I'm like, he could have had that capacity to do that whether I was in his life or not.
Watts ended up entering a guilty plea in exchange for the death penalty.
So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you believe her? I mean, the detectives didn't have any reason not to believe her, or she would have been charged as well, right? So, Watts is currently serving his time at Dodge Correctional Institute in Wisconsin, in Waupun. So, he had been moved to an out-of-state location due to security concerns. They couldn't keep him in Colorado because they were afraid he was going to be unalived. Excuse me. So he's in a maximum security prison in Waupun, which couple hours from where I live. It's kind of scary thought. But it's, I just think about the fact that it seems like even though, I'm all for prisoner reform, I'm all for, if they feel like they need the Lord, I'm all for that, guys. Not a problem there, right? I mean, not at all. If they want to receive the Lord, they want to get on with their life, good for them, They're there for life. I mean, no possibility of parole. Though we've heard he was trying to fight it for a while, but there's no possibility. So, but I don't feel that he's learned anything. I don't feel he's learned anything at all. Not if he's continuing to blame others, which he was blaming her in that letter, was he not? He was blaming her. So wrong, guys. I just, and what it does is it's putting Nicole back through this. It's putting Shanann's family back through it again. They don't need that. They don't need that. And I understand that he's not actually doing this. He's not actually bringing it, unless he's in on this guy writing this book. I don't know. I mean, that could be, but, it's been coming up again, and I just think that it's hardest on the victims, But, tell me what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And I want to leave you with our grannyism for today. Do right, do your best, treat others the way you want to be treated. That's kind of something I've always tried to live by. I don't know that I've always succeeded, okay? But if we keep that in the forefront of our mind, it's just something good. It's just a good reminder, right? Do right, do your best. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Okay? Well, thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it. Be sure to hit that like button on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. We've got memberships available as well for special perks. So thank you so much for coming on in. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at grannyscrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.